Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we're returning to a Let's Play of War in the East as the Germans advancing against the Russians. Although, I should say, we are very much fighting a retreat over here as all of these Soviet divisions are streaming in on our north. So this is the winter offensive of 1942, 1941, 1942, and this is proving to be extremely difficult. On the other hand, we've just conquered the outskirts of Moscow. We've conquered this piece here in the last turn, and this here just in this turn. So we are now close. We have 2 of the 3 areas of Moscow. I think this is still light urban, and this here would be heavy urban. So still we haven't got all of the fields. The most important one in terms of victory points, I think this is a swing of 1,000 victory points, is not in our hands yet. Still, I'm extremely tempted to try and advance further over here. And I think the way that we are going to do this is we could try to bring up at least this division here closer towards the front. So yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to send this motorized division, the 14th motorized division, up over here onto this field here a little bit north of Moscow. And that will kick back this army division slightly. And then I think what we can do is take this division in here and bring it even further up here, and maybe we're going to be able to cut off the retreat of, well, basically cut off Moscow in its entirety. They can still resupply. They're not considered isolated because of this field down here. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our infantry up here and try to kick them back a little bit there, I think. We don't have anyone who's better than the infantry. We do have these tanks down here, but they are basically out of fuel. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all of these guys here from the 27th Corps. We are not going to move the guys from the 12th Corps, so only the green units. They're going to come up all here. And we're going to bring these guys here as well. And we're going to do a deliberate attack here with 3 infantry divisions on this field. And we are going to hope that that is going to be enough. Can I actually? Yeah, no, okay, so with all of you guys, deliberate attack here, and I think, yes indeed, we are attacking with 46,000 men against these 18,000 men or so. We are losing a fair number, 200 troops. They're only losing 300 troops, but I think this is enough to get them to retreat, and indeed it is. So that's very lovely indeed. So we now have this field that we could potentially occupy as well, and that indeed is starting to look super strong actually. Who are you part of? You're part of this corps there. Could bring you down here as well, potentially? No, not really. Only sort of into the general vicinity. How about these tanks? These tanks could at least get onto this field. So I want to try to reinforce this position here a little bit, because this is not exactly a very strong position that we have got over there. How about you? Can I move anyone up here further? No, I cannot. I could only do an attack, but an attack across the river here would be extremely pointless. There's simply no way that that could hold. I'm mostly concerned about these guys here because they are very isolated in a way. We will probably not be able to supply them. Well, we are able to supply them, but there are so many troops that they could attack. I mean, there's just 2 tank brigades. This is another tank brigade and a rifle division, and down here we've now got another tank brigade and 2 rifle divisions, so they might just be able to take that back from us, and that would be a little bit disappointing. So let's see what else we can move up. So we've got all of these green units. We've got another panzer corps up here. Yeah, it's very difficult to bring you back over here. We could only try to attack maybe into this northern part. Try to kick them back there a little bit. Get a little bit more in terms of maneuverability on our side. Don't think there's any railroad we can cut that would force them to withdraw at least a little bit. No, it just doesn't seem viable. Over here, this is very dangerous. It's a cavalry corps, it's a guard cavalry corps. So let's see what we can do with that all. You've got a little bit in terms of movement points, but not actually that much, so you cannot really move anywhere. Maybe up there to the north. We've got this infantry corps over here, which I suppose we could start to move up a little bit. Okay, yeah, let's bring you over here, where also this rail unit is sitting. So that's okay, and you can move up, and I suppose you need to move up. And you're actually part of the same corps, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, so let's bring you down here as well. Can't really attack with you anyway, so that's okay. Can I move you into the city? No, I cannot. Okay, too bad. Yeah, but they are definitely more isolated now than they were before. Suppose none of you could move here. No. So really the only way is to move up the infantry itself. And I suppose that's alright. Yeah, let's do it like this. And then you could actually advance further up here. The advantage of this would be to sort of lock these guys here into place a little bit. Naval Rifle Brigade and a Rifle Division. Make it a little bit less likely that they can advance. Also make sure that we would be advancing, they'd be advancing into across this river. No, there's no river over here. No, only to the northeast, not to the east. Still, it might be a good choice to do that. Also block them at least a little bit from moving in this general direction. No! Damn it. Sorry. I didn't want to do that with both of these divisions, only... And I can't undo it. Okay. Never mind. It's going to be okay. Right, you do belong to up that... to the guys up there, so that's going to be alright. How about the 12th Corps here? You, I think, can... You only have basically these two and these two forts. So, yeah, that's okay. Let's get you... I think you're pretty much okay where you are, basically. Let's maybe get you over here. Just to spread it out a little bit. And in terms of the railhead itself... We do want to come up here, so someone needs to move from over here. We've got the... air unit, which I suppose we can move up over here. Maybe over here? I don't think they'll be able to kick us out. Maybe they will. No, I think it's fine. Let's be there, that's fine. And then you here can move up there. Repair the rail line. Move up towards Moscow. Repair this rail line as well. It's starting to be a little bit slow, but at least we are making some progress, I figure. And as we get to Moscow itself, yeah, at least we are definitely also resupplying these areas from this railhead over here. And I suppose, yeah, we can actually go up here as well, and here if we ever do take that, so that would be brilliant. Right, let's get vision on these guys. I suppose they will not be attacked over here. This is probably the weakest link that I would actually like to strengthen if at all possible. But it's just the overall amount of troops that they've got over here, which is making that extremely difficult. We've got this core. You're controlling this guy and that guy and this guy over here, so you should actually try to come down here at least a little bit to shore up defenses. I suppose we could move you in front of this unit. No point really doing that. Well, no, let's get over here. I think that's fine. And then you need to come up a little bit closer towards these guys so that you can actually support them if at all possible. Okay, let's get you here. I think that's alright. And then we've got this tank unit here, which again should potentially come around a little bit. Either over there or over here. Well, up here in the north wouldn't be the worst. We could also start to threaten them. Drive a little bit into their rear. But there's no point really doing that. I mean, they have so many supply lines coming into here that just doesn't feel that viable. You could be a little bit isolated if we go up there, but again, I think probably best to come here. And we are also actually going to declare you to be here in reserve, so that maybe you're going to come down there. I don't think it's possible, but you never know, maybe it's just viable. Okay, so you are controlling a bunch of divisions over there, one over here, which is a little bit awkward, and over here. You could actually grab that little town there, which wouldn't be the worst, since we do want to grab it at some point anyway. We could also start to bring you closer towards potentially attacking Moscow itself, but you know what, let's grab this territory here. That will allow us to form up the rail line all the way over there. And this is a good position because it's not possible to attack that it's impassable to the east and northeast. So I think it's a good location there. Yeah, we might be able to take back that territory at some point. Right, so that basically concludes it for all of these green units. You, my friend, potentially need to withdraw a little bit because we are under threat here. I mean, what I could do is try to do an attack on these guys just to push them back a little bit and prevent them from breaking out over here. It's across a river, so they will have some difficulties doing that, but I'm not too happy with this. We basically exhausted all of the, what is this even, the 3rd Panzer Army in trying to take down this area. Oh, are you based over here? I think you could get much closer. Yeah, let's bring you into here. And you are controlling these guys and these guys. Oh, we should have actually pulled you up before. Let's bring you here. I think that's much more reasonable. Good, yeah. That's all in all fine. These two guys are a little bit out of place, but I think you will be alright. At least you're close to the rail line, so I don't think you should have too many problems at all. Okay, you could move. Could you? No, not really. I would like to move across the river here so that we can get some guys on the other side of the river so that we can attack this piece of the enemy shortly. Okay, let's move you up. Resupply you a little bit better. And you are the army group. Okay, that's fine. Then let's look at these guys. We really can't get into this position there. That's too bad. I mean, I really would love to come over here. But there's absolutely no one with enough movement points at all. I think this is a fairly strong position over here, all in all. You guys could get all the way over here towards this bend in the river, which, as you guys know, I'm very keen on keeping because it's such a nice controlling area for the entire vicinity here. This here is only a rifle brigade. If at all possible, we could try to kick them back there. Wouldn't really shorten our front line, but this position here is also kind of nice due to the same sort of effect that it has on the overall defensive lines. I mean, the Oka here is counting as a major river, so just having this position here means that basically they would have a hard time pressing against us. I mean, down here it doesn't look extremely stable, but I think we'll be alright. Okay, let's move you up all the way over here. That's gonna be alright. This should potentially become better defended. And then we've got this motorized division, which we probably want to pull back and send more forces up here to the north so that we can have some more meaningful battles over here. I mean, the green units are doing fine there. On the other hand, just striking down here seems to be it's so tempting to me right now. Just getting this river. How far away are we from our railheads here? We aren't exactly close. We are not exactly far away either though, so it's a little bit so-so. Okay, you know what? You guys all do belong kind of together. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to send you here. Can you move up a little bit? You can move up a little bit, well, not too far though. Could move here, yeah, so that at least we are locking these guys down and they can't push to the north as easily. They first would need to get out of the zone of control. So that's alright. That does leave you here. Which I suppose we can move you here. So you're closer to all of your guys. Don't want to move you here because these guys might try to cross the river and that would push them back, so yeah, I think that's alright. You are in control of all of these guys down here. And you are the entire army. So let's move the entire army a little bit back here. You are likewise controlling guys who are sitting up here. Let's move you up a little bit. I think that's alright. You do belong to these guys, and I think we do want to move the pink tanks at least up here, but you don't have any movement points, so that's okay. So yeah, that does leave... You're fine, you're fine. Yeah, that does leave these tanks here. You're part of this. Slightly out of position, but all in all okay. Okay, let's try to get you here, sort of leapfrogging our way up. Oh, there is an infantry division here. Interesting. So we've got you. But you know what? Let's move you up here. And then you guys try to attack this brigade. Yeah, looks good. Perfectly, actually. Not that many guys killed on their side, but again, this position, I like it. I like it a lot. It's a good position to be in. Blocking all of these guys very nicely off. And that's worth a lot to me. I think we can try to peel you off. Give you a little bit to the rear. I mean, this position here is a little bit exposed, and it does mean we need an additional unit, but again, just due to the fact that it's controlling a lot of area in the vicinity, I think I like it. You're not doing that great over here. This is just a brigade. Or, sorry, a regiment even. Could try to push you back. Getting down here. Could actually even cut off his rail supply from down here, but he would still be able to supply himself from up there, so I think that's alright. Okay, let's come down here. Start to threaten his flank, though. I think that's fine. And it's only a brigade, whereas we have a complete division over here, so let's try to do an attack. Just enough. We are losing some men over here, 100 men on both sides. So that's not a good trade for us at all. But I think it's all in all alright. Okay, so you are part of the 24th. Let's try to keep vaguely everyone together. And send you down here. There's a nice gap here that's opening up. I think we can try to strike him another time. Wasn't quite useful. 35 men on our side. A couple of his guys lost as well, but that's not quite as important to me as our own losses. Okay, so let's move you up a little bit. How about you guys? Okay, you do belong to a separate division here. Including you. Can I move you towards this town here? I could also try to strike their rear and wreak a little bit of havoc on them. It's tempting to try and strike there. Don't think we want that right now. Let's try to replenish a little bit. You have decent fuel, but we might not want to overdo it anyway. So let's send you up here. Likewise with the tanks, and rest up a little bit. The motorized division I am going to send up towards this little town over here. And then the headquarter can come up over there, and I think that's pretty good, yeah. Send this headquarter up as well. Oh dear, and I only got a fortified division down here. A fortified zone. Because I somehow screwed up. And why can't you not move in there? Can you move down there? No, you can. You could move in there. Would they cross over here? I feel they'd be a little bit stupid. If they would, our tanks could strike them a little bit more easily. So yeah, let's send this unit up there, and I think that's alright. If they do want to come into here, that's gonna be alright. I would have no issue with that. Okay, you control all of these guys, that's alright. Yeah. We do need to bring our railhead here a little bit more, I think. But soon we are in Moscow here with these guys anyway, and then we can sort of bring them back down. I think that's alright, yeah. That's a good plan. Good. 2nd Panzer Army, you sort of have all of these headquarters. I suppose you're fine where you are, really. Maybe we can get you into the fortified zone there. That's okay. Good, so that does settle it up there. Could do a minor counterattack against these guys here. Don't think we need to. Come on. Do I not get the... Yeah, there we go. Fine. The line down here is holding. We could make some advances, but I think we'd be better off just digging in. And here in the very deep south, we do have... I'm slightly concerned because these guys are starting to find some of the gaps in our lines, I think. So, including this cavalry corps over here. So they are starting to be a little bit stronger as well. They're also starting to repair some of the rail lines that apparently we broke when we got there. Quite a couple of air units down here as well. Just look at the number of aircrafts that they do have here. Lots and lots of modern airfields. It's so tempting to strike down here. Try to cut them off. They don't have that many units. They actually have sort of fewer units than we do, but we are definitely not in a position to do anything offensive over here. You guys are sort of alright in terms of fuel and all of that. Still, it might be worthwhile to just get you back on the railhead over here. And be sort of ready to maneuver from over here. Also be ready to do a little bit more in terms of supply. We've got a unit over here, have we got? Yeah. No, that's fine. Are you ducking? Yeah, fort, level 2. That's okay. Yeah, and you're building up that rail line, aren't you? Yeah, 23% there. Everyone's building stuff down here, which is kind of pointless. It's okay to build up that connection. This connection here is still extremely important for us. Couple of fortified zones here and there, so that's nice to see. We could get rid of some of our fortified zones, especially these here, but I think it's still good to have a backup line, sort of if all of this area here falls. We still can shorten our front line, build that up a little bit towards the north, and we will be alright. So yeah, that does mean we should look at the situation up here. They are very likely to find some of these gaps and reduce our supply line for everyone up here. Which is a pity. And we found that there's no rail connection here, even though it looks a little bit like there was, but there is none. So you have to come all the way over here. That's a lot of terrain to cover. You don't really have that much in terms of fortified zones over here. Not much that we can do either. And just look at the attack power that they've got over here. This is an enormous amount of troops. They will definitely do some attacks over here. We've reconquered this city of Resheth. It's nice that we have done so. I would like to shore up the defenses there a little bit more. It's a very important point for us defensively. And I think in terms of victory points. How much is that? Come on. 550 points, yeah. And it's anchoring our supply line here in a very nice way. So it would be great to grab some of you guys and pull you into there. We've also got these tank divisions and everyone. Well, we are losing the war definitely over here. So I think we do need to pull back. Try to re-establish our front line here. I think they will have a hard time coming down through all of this area. Yeah, but just look at the offensive power that they also got over here. Just 4, 5, 7. That's a lot. And this is cavalry, so we do need to block it in a little bit more, I feel. But it's nice to have you here, because you are avoiding sending these guys across there, so they have a harder time doing this. Let's try to re-establish the line there. You, my friend, can, I think, come down here. And then let's move you guys up here. That's still a little bit dangerous. I think you're fine where you are. We do need to shift some forces up over here. Definitely. But they must be starting to run far from their railheads as well, aren't they? No, they've got a very good connection coming down here. It is tempting to try and lure them in a little bit and then maybe strike with some of our tanks. On the other hand, our railheads don't really extend into this area as well, so we are a little bit shy there. Can't really do that much. There's also still an extremely strong position with 2 cavalry corps. We can't give ground there, so I suppose what we need to do... You're all alright, so we only have really 3 units that we can move here anyway. I think it's fine to keep you where you are. And then you are also going to bolster the defenses here. Yeah, let's send you in. That's fine. And I think the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take the tanks and we're going to move them up here. Could also move them down here, so start maybe reducing them down there a little bit more. But let's send you up there. It's now a little bit more distributed than I would like to see. But all in all, I think a stable situation up there. This here is still, we are fighting a retreat. How is the situation looking in Vilushki itself? 4 level 2, so that's good to see. Got a couple of weirdly distributed units up here. Where are our most important fighters? I think they were moved up a little bit at least. Are you up here? No. So what have we got over here? This is 126 bombers. Yeah, your level bombers. Should get you up, I think, a little bit as well. A little bit close towards the action. I think that's alright. You also have bombers. More bombers. Yeah, let's not overdo it. It's wasting motorized equipment as well, so let's not do too much of that. You are fine down here, I think, where you are. We're guarding this area. How about you? 60 what? 60 fighters? Yeah. Heavy fighters as well. Then where are our most important fighters? Okay, we've got the army airbase here. I suppose you should either come up here so that you're supporting these guys a little bit more. You mostly have recon aircraft, don't you? I think so. And a couple of dive bombers. Okay, let's bring you up here, where you are able to support these guys. Let's move you into this town so that you're not under immediate threat. Oh dear, if these guys move up here, they will cut our rail supply. Ah, Jesus. These guys here are annoying. Well, I could move you there, but that doesn't really help. Yeah. It's annoying, we got them to retreat a couple of times, but they just didn't surrender. There's no way I can move anyone into there. I could do a hasty attack. I don't see any point doing that. No combat unit up there. Oh, and here are our fighters. Okay, that's alright then. That's you. Suppose we can move you up a little bit. Let's get you here. I think that's alright. Yeah. Well, very much looking forward to some of these rail lines here being constructed. Because I think that also frees up a lot of these units that might then get to work on this rail line towards Moscow as well. I think that would be great. Yeah, war is to a very large extent about logistics. I very much hope that the Russians are either not gonna attack over here, or maybe gonna not break through over here. You guys have about 58% of what you need to have. And you're the thin line that keeps these guys here boxed in. Still, that being said, we have some support for you. There's some guys over here. How about you still? Can you assign anything? We've got Panzerjägers, we've got some other stuff assigned. No, nothing else that we can assign. So I think in between episodes I'm going to go ahead and try to look for some fortified zones, especially for example here. That we could build up. Yeah, I think that would still be a very good position. Irrespective of whether whether we can hold on to this or not, I think having something down here to anchor the front there is going to be extremely helpful. And we've got a couple of fortified zones here, so that I think does round that off very nicely. Yeah, we also have one over here, so, and some over there, so yeah. This is a good defensive line. If we can extend that a little bit towards down here, I think we'd be very happy to. And ultimately, of course, Moscow itself would be great to keep. We still desperately need more forces over here. I think we have some, so that's okay. Yeah, very good. So next time we're going to look at what the Soviets are going to do. For now, I have to say thank you and very much for watching, and see you again next time. Bye bye, guys.